Shark Tank is famous for its sharp investors, quick-witted minds, and brutal honesty, a place only the greatest ideas survive, where fraudulent maneuvers can give out a little too quickly before gaining any serious traction. Still, even the best of people will be misguided sometimes, and one such person was Charles Yim, the Breathometer's creator, the smartphone breathalyzer that promised to revolutionize safety among drinkers. Charles Yim walked into the Shark Tank with a concept that seemed less than anything short of perfect. The Breathometer was pitched as the first in the world smartphone breathalyzer, a portable and affordable tool to measure one's blood alcohol concentration back anytime, anywhere. It became pretty clear that he was pretty confident talking through the expansion into devices detecting diabetes using Breathometer. Suffice to say that such a compelling and ambitious vision became enough persuasiveness to sway even Mark Cuban, one of the sharks. By the end of that presentation, Charles had won over all 5 sharks. Together, they agreed on a total investment of $1 million, with Mark Cuban snapping up the biggest share. Even at first sight, the deal was an ideal partnership. Innovation meets expertise and capital, but that's where the plot twist was. Yim thought he was scaling the product, but the sharks were pretty far from the action. Instead of putting the capital into the development of the product, he used it to live some high life. Social media posts featured him sunning himself in Bora Bora, partying it up in Las Vegas, and hanging out with Richard Branson. Mark Cuban and others immediately noted that Charles was doing far more networking than actual work. The shortcomings of the Breathometer soon started surfacing. Customers complained about a device that gave out wrong readings, malfunctioning applications, and simply unreliable results. The testers as YouTubers concluded that the device had inconsistent readings, thus defeating its basic function. The FTC then revealed that the company's claims about government-grade laboratory testing and FDA registration were altogether false. In addition, the devices gave an alarmingly low estimation of the user's back levels, misleadingly so, and hence a serious fatal mistake. In 2017, the FTC finally filed a complaint against the company, forcing it to issue refunds and halt sales of the defective product. Before this, Breathometer had successfully managed to amass sales of more than $5 million. However, the damage was already done. The product was subsequently withdrawn from store shelves, and Charles Yim's reputation, as well as that of his company, suffered irreparable damage. One might think that such an incredible failure would end someone's career, yet for Charles Yim, this was not the end. Despite the failed Breathometer, the intervention of the FTC, and the stolen $1 million investment, Yim continued to persevere. He developed new products, one called Mint, designed to detect dental health issues, but like that of its predecessor, this product became the subject of criticism and, eventually, was pulled from major retailers for similar reasons it did not work as advertised. Charles Yim claims to be the co-founder of a $50 million investment fund and advises young entrepreneurs through programs at Stanford University. Ironically, at least to most people, he has managed to fail his way to the top, taking a chain of failed products and spinning them into a springboard for more opportunities. Was Charles Yim a scam artist? Many would claim he was. He conned investors out of their money, stole from them, lied to them about the functionality of his product, and left town with hardly a rising eyebrow. The story of Breathometer serves as a reminder even the most seasoned investors can be blinded by a perfect pitch when it is delivered with enough confidence, charm, and an air of credibility. Mark Cuban, who otherwise thinks Breathometer is one of his worst investments, agreed that the idea itself was good. It is how he claims they poorly executed it. Later companies have been able to put together similar equipment. What makes Charles Yim stand out is that theirs worked, and theirs did not. The final message is that even in Shark Tank, where expertise and very good research are equal, nobody is completely protected against deception. A good sense of confidence, a good story, and the right mix of ambition and background can fool even the most astute investor. The next time you look at an appearance that seems flawless, remember that often the real predator that lives in the environment is not the one sitting in the chair, but the person standing at the front of the room touting a utopian ideal. What helped Charles Yim a lot in being able to fool the sharks, though, is his remarkable background. Yim was no greenhorn who entered the tech space. He had instead been a successful entrepreneur who founded and sold a business earlier on. He knew the Silicon Valley lexicon, which gave him a level of credibility that was hard to dismiss. To investors like Mark Cuban, who is well versed with the geography of the world of technology, Yim's background added another layer of credibility to his proposal. Another critical success factor was the storytelling capability of Yim. Presentation wasn't over a product, rather it was a burning social issue related to drunk driving. The issue of drunk driving is a deadly concern, and a portable and low-cost solution appeared revolutionary. Yim brought the sharks' financial interest into play, and their emotional quotient as well. He presented Breathometer as a lifesaver. That emotional appeal can often make the difference between maybe and I'm in for the investor. The sharks also agreed with Yim's concept of the future. He was not selling just a breathalyzer, he was offering an entire health technology product line that would possibly detect various conditions ranging from diabetes to any other health condition. The idea of participating in a company intended to revolutionize personal health was something too enticing to pass up. The top-level vision made all these red flags invisible and, therefore, possibly subduing hesitation if they would have arisen. The element of perception greatly succeeds in this tale. Yim realized that the front presentation of oneself was important, not only as an entrepreneur but also as a visionary. He came dressed in the right attire, used the right terms of reference, and showed a level of confidence that created a belief in him from others. Confidence indeed is a contagious emotion, especially in the high-stakes game of investments, often acting as a key determinant in acquiring funds. Charles Yim stood in front of the sharks. It was not to sell a product, it was to sell himself. His message was he was one investment worth individual. He could take a single idea and work with it to make it into a successful business. The sharks invested not just in the breathometer but in the potential Yim held to make his dream come true. This is why it hurt terribly when things started going sour. Once funding was locked up, Yim lost interest. He stopped dumping more resources into the product development to ensure that Breathometer would meet the standards promised, but went off to indulge in the attributes of the successful entrepreneur. Those consisted of vacations in exotic locations, high-end parties, and rubbing elbows with the rich and famous became the new order of business. What used to be a social media post through which Yim used to portray himself as an entrepreneur is now being used as evidence that he actually distributes the investors' money. When complaints from customers began to stack up, it was apparent that Breathometer was failing to live up to its promises. The device, which was supposed to provide accurate back measurements, was unreliable at best and deadly deceptive at worst. People rely on this device for life or death decisions, and it is failing them. FTC investigations proved Yim's lies. The government-grade laboratory testing did not exist, and the FDA registration was completely fabricated. The story of Breathometer went far beyond the question of a faulty product. It was dangerous to trust in anybody who seemed to have all the right stuff. Charles Yim was the epitome of a model person who not only looked the part but spoke the right stuff, promising with failure at delivery. Impacts were felt in both investor and consumer levels. A personal reason Mark Cuban may have gone all out in his investments in Breathometer is that his brother is an alcoholic, so maybe he just couldn't help but invest in products that might even help people make better decisions. Cuban has consistently been praised for how his emotions lead him into specific investments, and in this case it could even cloud his sharp wisdom of judgment. He readily shares his experiences with alcoholism and the disastrous consequences caused by it. It comes as no surprise that someone like Mark Cuban would be very much interested in such a device as Breathometer. That such an invention presented an opportunity to solve an issue that touched the lives of those close to his family brought interest in contributing toward its ultimate goal. Unfortunately, this emotional connection may have blinded him on quite a number of crucial issues concerning the pitch of Yim and the product Breathometer. Aftermath and success by Yim. Despite all the controversies surrounding Breathometer, Charles Yim did not give up on his projects. He designed Mint, this time to detect tooth decay problems. Like the Breathometer, the product was a good one, but as time went by, it simply turned out to be a flop. Irregular readings and undependable results forced the product into hiatus in most of the big retail stores. Nonetheless, Yim continued with his profession without losing any sleep over it. He now claims to be the co-founder of a $50 million investment fund and mentor of young entrepreneurs through Stanford University programs. Not too many wonder how this man with public record failure manages to succeed. Yet for that, it only proves charisma and confidence to be so attractive within business circles. That Yim was able to fail upwards just proves the fact that, in the startup ecosystem, perception usually beats reality most of the time. Even the smartest investors sitting in their shark tanks can become victims of a scam, so long as it is full of confidence and charm. Sometimes a far greater shark is sitting in the room pitching rather than investing. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more of these kinds of videos. Thanks for watching.